that's the comfort I've been looking for.
Yes.
Sorry, we're running a tad behind schedule. I found a Kit Kat. It's not a joke, I actually found a Kit Kat. Decided to take a break. Ray, Adam, hello again.
Hello.
Ray, this is, you did 1, you did 2, 5?
I think this is my 5th one, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. No, 6th.
Ooh.
Wait, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you get like some special t-shirt when you hit a certain number.
I'm not at Liam's level at this point.
No, nobody's at Liam's level, let's face it.
Not even you, yeah.
Has he been to just about every one?
9. Yeah, that's what the agent said too. But Adam, it's not your first either. This would be about 5.
4 or 5, yeah.
It's only 4 or 5.
I think 5. I think you're right, yeah.
Well, it's wonderful to have you back.
Thank you
very much. I had the pleasure of meeting Robbie for the first time in Glasgow, and he is exactly as I thought he would be.
Good.
You know how sometimes you see someone and you imagine how they are, and he's exactly what I expected. He's full of life. He's a great guy, so it was really good, and it was great that he brought the family over too. So I think it was a bit of a struggle. It's a long way. I definitely wouldn't bring my kids. He's much braver than I. Anyway, we've been playing a funny little game today. It's a good way, you could call it a vocal exercise. So far it's been pretty disastrous. But we'll give it a shot as soon as I've worked out where the bloody hell my folder is. What the joys of Dropbox. So the game basically works like this. LMNOP, right, yeah. PMX. It's a 60-second fast question round of questions.
And then the panel's over.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much. The questions are ridiculous. The audience, I apologize, you would have heard some of these questions already. Some of them are absolutely awful, and some are incredibly inappropriate. So I'll skip over those ones. Your favorite? Yeah, exactly. Security again. Okay, so we'll do it one at a time to make life a little bit easier, because 60 seconds. Who would like to go first?
Sure.
Oh.
I'm going to regret that, aren't I?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to kind of flick in this a little bit so we've got some fresh questions, because the whole lobster hand one's getting a bit old. Okay, let's go somewhere about... Okay, actually, maybe we'll start with that one.
Your 60 seconds start now.
Snake for a tongue or lobster claws for hands?
Lobster claws.
Okay. Oh God, faster. Is a Jaffa cake a cake or a biscuit?
Oh, it's a biscuit?
Nice try. Would you prefer to have wings or a tail?
Wings.
Okay. Who shot first, Han or Greedo?
Guido.
Tough crowd. How much would a woodchuck... Oh, God's sake, I'm not going there again.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Well, a woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Say that again?
No. What is the best Legend of Zelda game?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Oh, you're awful.
Ocarina of...
Show us your party trick.
My party trick takes longer than 60 seconds.
I bet it does. That's what she said. What is your spirit animal?
Oh, a tiger.
Not bad. For 60 seconds.
That's 60 seconds, wow.
All right. It's not as hard as it looks.
Okay.
Don't ask me questions about Jaffa cakes. You made that word up. What is a Jaffa cake?
It's a good question.
What is it?
You guys remember the whole full moon, half moon, total eclipse, again. Okay, stand up if you like Jaffa cakes. Okay, you guys need to get the hell out of my building.
What?
On me, on me.
Okay. Tell you what, if anyone goes to a store, maybe if you go over to Tesco's tonight, pick up some Jaffa cakes and we'll get Ray to try. And we'll get him to do the full moon, half moon, total eclipse. Okay, Ray, are you ready? Okay, good. You good?
Yes!
Okay.
Your 60 seconds start now.
Pizza for hands or pizza for face?
Both.
Weapon of choice?
Katana.
Chocobos or Moogles?
Chocobos. They don't sound as annoying.
Eris or Aerith?
Aerith.
Okay. Do an impersonation of another Final Fantasy character.
What?
Another impersonation of a Final Fantasy character.
Yep, y'all come on down to my store, you lovely boys.
Kentucky Fried Chicken or McMoogles?
Cup noodles.
Favorite color?
Green.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee, but tea too.
Alex or Alan? Come on, Ray!
My 60 seconds are up. Alex.
Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 8?
Final Fantasy 8 for sure.
US or UK?
US. Oh, I forgot where I am.
Read the room. Read the room.
Read the room.
Sickening. You see, I told you it was fun. You get mobbed on the way out. Well, welcome back. I think it's safe to say both countries are screwed right now. We've got Donald Trump, we got Boris Johnson. Everyone go home, dig your grave now.
Yeah.
Joyce, thank you again. Thank you very much for being here.
Of course.
So we're actually here to talk about Final Fantasy, so I'm told.
Oh.
What a journey it must have been for the two of you. 15 has probably been your life for what now, 3 years? Or probably longer when it
A
takes
lot
you-
longer, yeah.
with
Because we
recording.
started 2 years before it came out.
What came out? Yeah, exactly.
So a good
It's
half
interesting,
decade.
Adam. We've never done a panel together, have we?
This is our first panel.
Wow.
Wow, that's really surprising.
It's a little bit of Final Fantasy history here.
I feel like, have you not done one with all the Chocobros together before?
Oh,
But-
we did one in Florida.
Yes,
It was
not
the first
for,
time
not
we'd all
for
met.
Kupocon. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Correction. See, I know better. Not stalking or anything. I really like that shirt you wore to bed last night. It's great. It's fantastic. Anyway, I was talking to Adam actually, but whatever. So the journey, 5 years in. Let's go way, way back. Some of you we may have, done panels before, but let's go way, way back. Did you know what you were auditioning for?
No, not at all.
No,
It was
Nothing at all.
code-named. What was the code name?
Project Black.
Project Black. Sounds sexy, right? Yeah, we thought, we'll audition for Project Black.
Did you
Yes.
know it was Square Enix based?
No.
No, don't think we knew anything.
It was
at that
just
point.
Project Black.
That's it.
They
yeah.
did give you art of the characters.
Yeah, that's right.
But I didn't know it. I had played Final Fantasy before, but I wasn't up on the Final Fantasy 13 thing, so I didn't recognize.
Well, you're a gamer in general, right? You enjoy to game.
Absolutely, yeah. I just didn't know. Once it got past the pixel art stage, I didn't really keep up with it. But as soon as I got the callback, I Googled Noctis to see I wonder if there's any information, and there was a whole Wikipedia page, and I was like, oh God, there's a lot
No
to
pressure.
think about. Yeah, there was a lot to think about. So yeah,
The
I
art-
didn't know when I first auditioned.
The artwork that you saw during that period, is it very similar to what actually we got?
It's exactly the same. Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. By that time, it was not versus 13 anymore, so it was the new artwork.
Gotcha. What about for you, Adam?
For me, I wasn't aware at all until I got the job. And they said, yeah, by the way, Project Black, Black is something called Final Fantasy 15. At that point, the penny dropped. I didn't have any idea. I was absolutely thrilled. I mean, who sort of hasn't heard of the franchise? And I was I'm not as an inveterate gamer as these guys, but even I knew, I was like, oh my God, this is huge. And then I promptly had to tell myself to stop thinking about that because the expectation was going to be massive.
Yes.
We better not mess it up for you guys.
Oh, I imagine it was very daunting.
Everyone thought when the trailers came out that you were putting on a British accent. That was the pressure, and then you came and showed them.
We discussed this a little bit in Newark, New Jersey, because
Yes.
you said that originally when you, which I thought was, unless I was drunk at the time when we discussed it, which is quite possible, but I feel like you said originally that you had envisioned that Ignis would have like a Basil Fawlty voice.
Yeah, there was something of that. There really was. So for all of you who want to know my way into Ignis, think John Cleese and Fawlty Towers. That was how it started in my head. I thought he was, sort of quite uptight and Manuel, and he was, a bit like that. I was giving it a bit of that in the audition, and Keith Farley was sort of like, let's try something a little different here. And so we did, and eventually he we settled on a somewhat more sort of Bond-like delivery. At least that's what we sort of got into my
Oh,
head.
it's definitely suave.
And yeah, it became suave and all the rest. But yeah, it definitely was a departure from the way I came in at the beginning.
And Ray, Noctis became less gruff, right? Before it was a lot more intense, deeper.
Well, yeah, when we worked on the demo, we didn't know exactly how old Noctis was going to be.
Gotcha.
And so we did a younger version and then an older version, and we went with the older version, and then it came out, and it turned out I sounded like Gladio in a lot of the battle efforts. So they, Tabata-san said, let's recast. And thankfully, Keith Farley went to bat for me and said, well, hold on, Ray can do a different voice. And I happened to have a clip of me saying I was a prince on my demo reel at the time. And Tabata said, try that, give him that a shot. And it was a whole month of re-auditioning with that voice.
You came close on that one.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. We get recast a lot in video games, it happens. And this one, I'm just so grateful that they gave me another shot.
Mm-hmm. So we go past production, we get to the release. There's a delay in the release.
Was there?
Oh yeah. Hello. Yeah, what was it, like 3 months? 3 months, I think it was. Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, how did you feel it? Like, did that ring alarm bells for you because you thought, oh God, this game's going to do badly? But if you didn't even think it happened, then it's perfectly fine. How many of you were here for the Robomb thing earlier? Because earlier, I was like, yeah. And now look. Like, I got two glowing eyes of death on me. Anyway, sorry. It's very hard to concentrate when you've got expression constantly and these two beaming eyes of hell. And yeah, that's it, thank you. I don't even know what we're talking about now. So, Adam, were you aware that it had been delayed?
Yes, I think I was, yeah.
He's just saying that to make Ray look bad.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what fool wouldn't know that? I was aware because then I was tracking it quite closely at that point. But you see, Ray's a very busy man, so he can be forgiven for not knowing these things. He's always in the booth.
It's much faster.
Doesn't get out much.
I actually have a rule. We say that it's quicker to ask Ray what he's not in than what he's in.
Exactly.
That's a compliment. It's a backhanded one, but it is a compliment. So the game releases, bang, we've got 15. I imagine the convention scene picks up quite substantially at this point.
It was interesting. When it first came out, it wasn't super popular at conventions. Like, I definitely had people come, but it was only after like a year out, I think, once people had played it and word of mouth spread, that it started to become really popular.
Yeah. Were you at the launch in LA there? Where
was
they
I
announced?
at the launch? I was at a weird GameStop thing.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, I know, like, in South America, they had, like, a big party, and there was one in Amsterdam, I believe. But in America, they were, like, putting a big statue of Titan on Hollywood Boulevard.
That's right,
For some reason. That was weird. And I was at a GameStop doing a signing. There were about, like, 20 people there, and that was it.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, I would have questioned everything at that point. Like, have I done something wrong?
Yeah.
Because there was the big 15 launch in LA. Because Liam was there, all the Glaive were there.
I think he's making that up. There was
I think that's...
I watched
Does he mean
it.
Wait, does he mean
The reports are exaggerated on that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like it was at the Sony Center. Yeah, like the whole thing. And
the movie.
For King's
Talking about the
Blade,
movie.
yes. They rolled it out a bit for that.
So the movie came out, and I went to go see it.
Oh no, not for the movie. Like they had the guy came up. I forget who it was. He came up on the stage, and we didn't know when it was launching. Uncovered, right?
Oh,
and
Uncovered. Yes.
You were there?
I was at Uncovered. Yes.
Okay.
I used to live next door to that place after college. I lived in a closet, and every day the ceiling would rain over my bed, and I had lots of respiratory problems. So it was great going back there.
Wow, that's quite sad.
Yes.
And look how far you've come.
Absolutely, all the way to London.
Yes. So the game's delivered, and then probably when you thought was all said and done, you struck it lucky because you got an episode. Did you know that you were going to get more content?
No, I wasn't.
I assume it was recorded further down the line. It wasn't something. Okay.
Yeah, it was. And I was saying to someone today, I think I actually mentioned it to you. It was such a a great little. Well, all of it's been great, but yes, got the DLC, and I think I was away doing some on-camera work somewhere, and we had to patch in with both LA and with Tokyo, Japan at that time, and I thought, wow, this is a real international effort, and I really loved it. You know, turns out I was just saying to someone I recorded in 4 different cities, or 5 different cities in 4 different countries.
I think you were in the UK at one point, right?
I was in the UK,
yeah,
and Toronto, Johannesburg, Los Angeles, and San Francisco.
All right, show off.
And but I've never experienced anything like it before or since. And I was just like, this is amazing.
And it's
as
also
an international project.
It's incredibly rare too, because everyone I've spoken to who's worked on 15, they're like, oh, you know, Keith was patched in.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's either go to LA or don't do it.
Or don't do it, yeah.
Which is, and it seems with the 15 project, especially with Kingsglaive, a lot of it was patched in.
Right.
Which is just not, I mean, you've recorded a lot, but usually I find it's there, everyone's there. There's usually someone on the phone somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's usually LA. You know, it's 9 times out of 10, it always makes me laugh, because my wife will go, oh, I see you're getting Ali Hillis. Where's she from? LA. Oh, where does Ray live? LA. I mean, it's the home of, it's the home of it, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
It really is.
They also always patch in Tokyo, and the poor writers stay up very, very late to go to our sessions, because it's 8 hours behind.
Yeah.
And so when we're doing stuff in the morning, they did an entire workday, and then they stay all night until 6 in the morning.
And Liam used to say the same thing with the motion capture.
Yeah.
They ended up sending the footage over the internet.
Yeah, and then we had Dan Inoue come over, you know, as an American living in Japan, and then he came back to LA to you know, one of the writers to...
Gotcha.
And he used to just tuck his cap down, pull his collar up, and sort of prop himself up behind a table, and we used to sort of believe that he might be awake, but I'm pretty sure he was asleep a lot of the time. Yeah, so jet-lagged.
The last, I remember between 15 coming out and episode Ignis, that was your first appearance, I think.
Right.
It was in Toronto.
Right.
And then we came over here, and during the time, people were asking you about episode Ignis, but you couldn't talk about it.
That's right.
Because it hadn't been released.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I imagine that, I mean, it was a very emotional episode, and it also elaborated and expanded on your character a lot.
Yeah.
Did you see a change in the reaction to your character and just meeting with fans after the episode?
Definitely. I mean, I think I think part of the popularity of the game really is just how human it is, all of the 4 characters in the card generally. But then when Ignis went through his whole, I don't know, his amazing sort of, he's just a paragon of all that is best in humanity when he does what he does. And he gets punished for it physically, and you sort of, it can be nothing except heartbreaking. And, you know, as I said before, like we never get the script ahead of time. We only ever get it when we go into the booth that day. So I had no prior knowledge. And when I went in the booth and saw my script for the first time, I looked at it and I thought, oh no, the fandom is not gonna, like, it's gonna really hit them hard. So all I could do was tweet out, you better get your Kleenex ready, guys. And and I knew it was just, I actually got a little misty eye when I read it. It sort of slightly empathetically feeling what I hoped everyone would feel when they, and thankfully they did. Thankfully it was as impactful as the writers intended.
Of the episodes, it was my favourite. I thought it flowed really nicely.
Thank you. Yeah.
Talking of flow, that's something I really wanted to talk about. Is I know you got a whole game, and then when I remember we were at, I forget which one it was. I feel like it was Vancouver, because actually your parents were able to come to that.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. And we were there, and we were talking about episodes, and they just announced episode Noctis at the time, I think. And Liam was like, I want an episode Kingsglaive. And you were like, shut up, you got a movie. And he's like, shut up, you got a game. And then axed.
He also got Comrades.
He did got Comrades,
yes.
Yeah. Lucky Liam. Liam? All right? He's good. How did you react to the cancellation of episode Noctis?
I'm actually okay with episode Noctis being cancelled.
I was quite surprised that it was even on there, to be quite frank.
Yeah.
You're the main character of the game. I don't know what more they could have done to expand.
Well, what they were looking for, it was an alternate ending, and I quite like the ending of the game.
Right.
don't really want it. I like what they did with the episode Ignis thing. I thought that was cool as an alternate ending, but they wanted to make it a canon. It's crazy new ending, and I don't know. I wasn't super happy about that. So I was kind of okay when they canceled episode Noctis, but I was not happy that they canceled Luna and Aranea. They deserved their own content. Those were two underdeveloped characters that definitely needed more screen time.
Agreed.
Yeah. Do you have any inside stories as to why those episodes never really made
I
it?
think it's just because single-player DLC doesn't sell very well. Like that isn't it. I don't think it's a business model that any other company has had any success with.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they looked at the figures for episode art and said, maybe it's not worth it to do 3 more of those.
Oh, I've got a story for you tonight then.
Oh, really?
Oh, I know something else. I always get my information eventually.
Nice.
It got very heated in certain offices.
I would imagine it would
In
have.
fact, actually, when we were in Birmingham, I don't think either of you were at that one.
No.
We did a screening of Kingsglaive at the cinema across the street.
Yeah.
How many of you were at that one?
Nice.
Apologies for those of you in Screen 1 where it screwed up.
Screw.
God, you should have seen the woman's face. Like, while you're watching the movie, I'm ripping the shit out of her. But we actually had a recorded message from Tabata. He'd recorded a message just for us.
Wow.
And that was his last recorded message at Square Enix.
Wow.
True story.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a very fast and unexpected exit.
Wow.
And at that point they said, where do we go from here?
Right.
So that was the end of it. But do you think, looking back at it, if you'd been in their shoes, is there something you would have done different to maybe change the way they pushed the game out? In my mind, the only thing that I think that they could have done to improve it would have made it less fragmented. I found that if you don't watch Kingsglaive, you are a little bit lost. You watch Kingsglaive, you've got a really good understanding of what's going on. And I kind of wish, even though we have the Royal Edition, I kind of feel like if they released an Ultimate Edition, where the DLC is where it should be in the story, it would just
Good idea.
flow better.
Yeah. It's a very good idea.
Is there anything else that you wish that, if it had been your choice, you would have tweaked?
I wish that we got to dub the anime. I mean, that's...
Yes. Come on, let's make it happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've asked them many, many times, and then they
What's the answer
ignore
on
me. They just ignore. They say, "Oh yeah, we'll talk about it," but they don't want to.
Is there anything legally stopping you from doing a fan one?
Yes.
A lot. No, unfortunately.
I like ideas that have risks.
It's one of those things, though, that I wonder if we went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
Do you really think they're going to go, oh yeah, Ray
Right.
Chase did that, let's sue him?
Exactly. Yeah, that would be a very bad PR move. So
Yeah,
maybe let's
you're
just
right.
go ahead and do it.
Yeah, good for you. There's someone in the audience that works for Square now going, I'm going to get you. You won't make it back to your hotel belly. Okay, let's, why don't we throw it out to the audience? I'm sure there's lots of great questions in the audience.
Right.
Just while we're getting some people who want to come and line up, folks. Just step forward. Just while we're on the topic of, you did Dissidia.
Yes.
There is no Dissidia for Ignis yet. That would be interesting. I don't know how that would work. You also did 14. You had a little bit of Passion 14.
Yes, that's right.
Too. Any other games that you'd like to see? What about Super Smash Brothers and some weird...
Noctis for Smash.
That would
That'd
be weird.
amazing. There's too many anime sword guys in that game. We don't need them.
Okay, noted. Okay, folks. Nobody's got any eyes left when you're done.
No, it's a question for my daughter. She recently finished 15, and then she sat on the settee saying, "Oh, that's great, Luna came back to life at the end." I was like, "It kind of didn't." And then she cried for about half an hour. So her question is, why did you have to go and die for? That was really crap.
So the question.
She wants to know why you have to die.
I would love, 15 didn't have like a triple triad sort of thing. I would love a side sort of card collecting game like that. That'd be really fun.
Wow. Wow. That's a very good question. So it was some sort of side quest that wasn't
just
there.
any little mini game or anything like that you dad.
Maybe an expansion on the cooking side of things.
Yeah.
It was a bit limited.
You could do a cooking mini game.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, like
How fast can you chop carrots?
There is a stirring section of the game where you literally stir the soup.
I know.
it would have to be somewhere between, and relate that to like a martial art, like a sort of a wax on, wax off, except you'd be stirring soup and like chopping vegetables.
Yes.
Like, the martial art cookery sort of side quest.
Do you realise that you've gone from Basil Fawlty to Mr. Miyagi in the space of 3 minutes?
Thank you. And just before I go, Ray, you were awesome in D4. I forgot to say that.
Dark dreams don't die. Thank you very much, Nils. Appreciate it.
Hiya.
Hi.
If all of the guys were allowed to come back as astrals at the end of their life, what kind of astrals would Ignis and Noctis choose to come back as? Like, what would you guys want to look like, and what would you want to have power over?
You're saying astrals? So, like, what kind of gods would we come back as?
Yeah.
It would be
I like the Shiva aspect of things. Shiva. There's Shiva involved, right?
Yeah.
Astral, yeah.
So you'd be an Ignis,
Sort of.
cold, minty, fresh breath.
Yes.
What are you on about?
Yeah.
Click your fingers, it's like an ice cold milkshake.
Noctis, cup noodle guy. As a fish, yes, a fish astral.
Fish astral.
Yes, absolutely. Swimming among the stars, and tackling people. So bad. Thank you. Hi there.
Hi, I have kind of like a multi-question.
Sure.
This was mostly for you. We were talking about earlier how like you're kind of glad that they canceled episode Noctis in regards to like changing the ending
Yeah.
and stuff. I find that I kind of agree with that in regards to like the ending, like the true ending that we got, the actual
Yeah.
ending to the game. Do you feel that it's representational of, it wouldn't almost be right if it didn't end that way, because it's representational of kind of the whole theme of the game of, the family that you make for yourself and like what you'd be willing to do for them.
Exactly, and about sacrifice, and showing the hero's journey from start to finish. No, absolutely. What was your question?
Was mostly, it was just like, was that your thinking on why?
Yes, absolutely. I think that having the catharsis at the end of the game, there's so many games that you play, you forget what the ending is. I don't remember how Horizon Zero Dawn ended. I don't know. Something happened. But for 15, nobody forgets that ending because it's so impactful. Because it's emotional. It's risky to make an ending like that, and I applaud Square for doing that.
And then kind of linked to that in regards to episode Ignis, also about the sacrifice of that. I think I had asked at Ontario, obviously before it came out, and you weren't able to say much at the time, what it really represented in regards to, do you think it was kind of, obviously to represent what Ignis is willing to do for Noctis, like as kind of like a brotherly bond, because they've kind of known each other since they were like, little kids. Do you think it's more than just, oh, this is my king? You know what I mean? Do you think Ignis kind of considers him more of a brother? Obviously, there's always going to be a boundary there because he's a king, and Ignis isn't,
Absolutely. I think they've been through so much that it's way beyond sort of employer, employee, and beyond the sort of the rather feudal sort of echelons. I think that's what makes it so powerful, isn't it? That brotherly love or sisterly love transcends most boundaries anywhere in the world. Love always beats the system somehow, ultimately, if you keep pushing through. So, and I think that's why people empathise with that bond so much and what happened there. It's sort of aspirational for all of us to sort of go, oh, I hope I can be that sort of a person if my friend really bites it, So, I think it's far more. I think it's much more brotherly and just love just works on so many levels, doesn't it?
Yeah, they
dissolves
were
so
able
much.
to add that kind of level of depth.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we only have time for one more question. We're already 15 minutes past. I'm so sorry.
No way.
I'm so sorry, folks.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
It was just a bit of a wacky question. We see Arden impersonate Gladio and Prompto. If Arden was to impersonate Noctis and Ignis, at which point would each other realise you're not Noctis or you're not Ignis?
He does impersonate Noctis. Yeah. With Ravis, yeah. It does happen. I got to say sycophancy. Sycophancy.
Okay, well, while we've got an opportunity, do you think you can impersonate each other's characters quite easily?
I got a chance to do Noctis impersonating Ignis in the Chocobo Carnival DLC. So I got to say,
Go on, yeah.
I've come up with a new recipe.
And in fact, most of when I see it written these days, everyone's adding an H onto the end of recipe because of him. Nicely done.
It's not because of me. No.
Recipe. Yeah.
Oh, we only get the one word, we don't even get the full line. Do we want to hear the catchphrase?
That's it. I've come up with a new recipe. Thanks for saying that, Iggy.
It's always a pleasure to have the two of you here. Truly.
It's great to be here.
It's always nice, not only, like, as you know, we've had a lot of guests, a lot of people. Some are great to work with, some are not. And it's always great to have you back. I hope that we can see you again soon. Ladies and gentlemen,
Absolutely.
Adam and Ray, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.